Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. Today I'm cooking the perfect winter warmer. It's one of my favourite feel-good foods and I'm doing it in the slow cooker because I've got to go to work. And the perfect thing is I'm going to walk home once I walk in after work and the smell is just going to be amazing because that's the great thing about a slow cooker. I will talk you through the traditional stovetop to oven method as well. Um, and I'll show you a couple of other things because we are doing some side dishes to go with this one. Anyway, it is osso bucco with gremolata and green beans. This is what we need. Now, normally I serve this up with the last one I did quite a few episodes back now was with rice. This one I'm using polenta. I haven't used polenta for years, and I just checked the polenta that was in my pantry should still be okay. That I googled, what do I look out for in case it's wrong or whatever. So it looks okay. That we are doing on the stovetop because there is two ways to cook polenta. There is either a where it's like a porridge, I'll just say, because it's a soft version, or there's the firm version, which I think is the way that Mexicans use it. I'm not sure, but anyway, this is an Italian dish, so we won't talk about the other way. We'll talk about the way we're doing this. And also we are serving it with green beans. So I'm going to get a little bit of veggies, even though I'm using frozen ones, just because I want to use them up. I went into where I work yesterday to gather my fresh ingredients. And I also I got my butcher to deliver my osso bucco. So this has been a couple of days of gathering, but I'm looking forward to it. I've got to shove some more stuff in the freezer because I've literally nearly cleared it all out, which is good. So yesterday I had to just go and buy quick things, which I don't normally like. I like to be able to go to the freezer and, grab a meal out instead of I brought cans of spaghetti and baked beans and things like that because if I need dinner, I need dinner, right? But anyway, so the other thing, as well as the slow cooker, which is here, it hasn't had a use for a while, so it's pretty happy, is the when we cook the polenta, we're doing it in a saucepan, and I'm going to use the steamer part. So normally the saucepan has a lid on it, but we had this steamer, so my ma always used to put veggies on top of it. So while the polenta's cooking, I'm going to be cooking the green beans. So that's what a double burner saucepan looks like. It's really smart for putting your veggies in. If you want to use some extra veggies as well, chuck them in as well. Maybe some peas or probably not really potatoes because you've got the polenta. So polenta is sort of like your under dish. You can use mashed potato if you don't want to use polenta. But anyway, come on in and I'll talk you through the ingredients. So it's a little bit cold. We're still in the middle of winter. I'm still studying. I was hoping to I should be going to the football tonight, but I can't while I've got study deadlines and I'm working. So that's out of the question. So I thought this will be lovely to sit down, eat this and watch the football. So we need olive oil spray. I've got canola spray, so use whatever you've got. 4 veal osso bucco. I haven't looked at them yet, but they're in there. 1 leek thinly sliced. Just give it a bit of a wash. This one didn't have dirt in it, but sometimes when I've had them, there's a lot of dirt in them or sand. So just give them a wash. 2 celery sticks trimmed and finely chopped. I had these in the freezer. So if you've got celery and it's left over, pop it in the freezer because when you're cooking it, it's fine. It doesn't matter that it's frozen. 1 large carrot peeled and finely chopped. Now, to make it go a little bit further, I ended up buying 2 carrots. 3 garlic cloves thinly sliced. Half a cup of white wine. This is just the wine from Aldi. 2 large vine ripened tomatoes chopped. There's 1 and 2 smaller ones, and they are ripe, which is fantastic. So vine ripened are the ones that grow on you when you go to buy them, because I'm learning about all this now, because there's not just tomato and a big tomato and a little tomato. The vine ripened ones are the ones that are actually still stuck to a vine. So you need those ones. 1 teaspoon of chicken stock powder. That's over there. 9.5 cups of water. Now I was a bit, oh, that's a lot of water. But when you read your recipe, out of the 9.5 cups of water, we're only putting 1.5 cups of water in with the Osso bucco. But because I'm going to be leaving it on low for 8 hours, I'm not working for 8 hours, but it will cook for 8 hours. I always put a little bit of extra water in. So I'll see what it looks like once I get the water into it. 2 tablespoons of chopped flat leaf parsley. That's also been in the freezer. I'm just going to use all of that up. 1 teaspoon of grated lemon rind. I haven't done that yet, but that's for the gremolata, so that's later. 1 garlic clove crushed. It's ready to crush. 2 cups of our instant polenta. So that's polenta. It's a yellow, I think it's a cornmeal or something. That's the other thing that they call it. I have had that for a very long time, but I'm sure it's fine. And steamed green round beans to serve. Well, they're not round beans. Green round beans, I think, are broad beans. But anyway, I'm just going to use those ones. So they're going to go where I told you. All right. So the good thing about this is I will, as I say, I'm going to talk you through how to do it if you're doing it in the oven, because normally I would do this on the stovetop anyway. So first of all, you're going to preheat your oven to 160. Heat a large flame-proof casserole dish over high heat. Spray with oil. Cook the veal for 2 minutes each side or until brown, and transfer to a plate. So because I'm putting everything in the slow cooker, sometimes I brown them, but in this case, I'm just going to put them straight in. Reduce heat to medium. Spray your dish with oil. Cook your leek, celery and carrot. Stir occasionally for 6 minutes or until soft. Then add your sliced garlic. Cook stirring for 1 minute or until aromatic. That means you can smell it. Add the wine. Simmer for 1 to 2 minutes or until the liquid has reduced by half. Then you put your veal back in, your tomato, your stock powder, and your 1.5 cups of water from that original 9.5 cups of water. Stir to combine and bring to the boil. Cover and bake in the oven for 1.5 hours or until the veal is tender, and then season with pepper. So that is how you will do it in the oven. So it's fairly straightforward. If you're doing it in the slow cooker, I'm just literally going to put everything in, put it on low. I've got a time clock on it because the slow cooker that I've got is one of the original ones. Well, I say original ones. Mama won it very, very early on, and it's been a fantastic thing. Now the ones you buy actually do have a timer on them. So I'm fortunate enough because when I used to have a swimming pool, I had a time clock. So I just have been known to put that on with the slow cooker. So come on over to my slow cooker and we are going to do exactly that. Let's go. So basically everything that I just said, we are going to literally put straight into the slow cooker. So I'm plugging it into a time clock, which I've preset the time clock for 8 hours. Actually, I think I've given it just under 8 hours because I'm supposed to be working 12 till 4, but sometimes I work 12 till 5. And then when I get home, I'll be able to do a couple of things and then it'll still be cooking or it'll be nearly cooked. So this is the whole idea. I want to actually have it ready to dish up. And then I'm going to be putting 3 servings into the freezer, because normally I would have one for lunch the next day, but I'm putting an extra one in the freezer because the freezer hasn't got much in it at all. Huh, silly me. Guess what I just plugged in? I plugged the kettle into the time clock. That one. All right. The joys of studying. I was supposed to get up and study again last night and I didn't. Now, I asked him for medium to large ones. These are good. One of the last ones that I had out of the freezer. And if you are freezing this, what I have been doing is I've been putting it in the oven on about 150 for half an hour, so it heats it right through. But one of the last ones that I had, the Osso bucco, see there's a lot of meat on these ones. There was hardly any meat on it, so I was a bit disappointed. So I've just layered those on the bottom. So let's just see if I can. There you go. That's how it looks. Okay, so let's go get the next stuff. So I'm just literally going to put everything straight over the top. So the celery is still a bit frozen, but don't worry too much about that. And then the leek. And we are going to have to put extra water in, because the main reason why you put extra water in is so that it doesn't dry boil, because I'm not home to stir it. And it normally takes at least 2 hours for it to sort of, on low, for it to start to do anything. When I say that, I mean to start to bubble or whatever. The water, the wine, and then just goes the wine, goes the water. I've got to try and work out how much more water to put in, because that's quite a bit of liquid in there. That's 2 cups of water, actually. Over goes stock powder. Beautiful. And then the tomato. See, I don't want to make it too liquidy, but I don't want it to run out. And the thing is, I am going to get liquid out of that, plus the veggies as well. So be on the safe side, I think. I'm just going to put an extra half a cup of water in. Because if anything, all it's really going to do is just make it into more liquidy. All right, so pop our lid on. Turn the... Now it should be on the timer. No, that's on the clock. Okay. All right, it's on low. So we'll when I get home from work, we'll check in and we'll lift the lid off, and I'll let you know how that's all looking. With the rest of the stuff, there's no point in making the polenta early, because it's literally just going to be sitting around. You want that warm. The green beans, I'm going to put those in later, so I'm just going to put those in the fridge ready to go. And the gremolata I'm also going to make a bit later as well. So I will catch you when I get back from work. See you then. Hey, we're back. It's been about 7 hours. There's about an hour to go. So while this is going on, I'm just going to start the polenta and the gremolata. So I've just taken the lid off a couple of times. I got home and I gave it a good stir. So it's looking pretty good. I haven't stirred right down to the bottom to see how the Osso bucco are going, but they should be going fine. So that's technically ready. So when I'm ready to dish up, it's ready. So we'll get on to the next part. So to do the gremolata, it is literally just grab a bowl, add the crushed garlic, the chopped parsley, and the grated lemon rind. So that's easy enough. But to do the polenta, we need to get the rest of that water into the stovetop. We're going to turn that on and bring it up to the boil. So we basically just need to bring the water to the boil, and then we are going to sprinkle the polenta in, give it a stir, and then we just need to boil it for about 10 minutes on a lower heat until it becomes almost like a porridge, but it's more like a grain or a rice. So while that's all going on, I've got my green beans from the freezer earlier. I just left those in the refrigerator through the day. So they are going to steam over the top because these won't want long. That's why I said if you've got one, use a double burner saucepan thingy. All right. So once that comes to the boil, we will be back. I just make the gremolata while that's going on. So whichever ramekin you want to put it into, probably easiest for me to do it in the one with the lemon. I think that's cracked. I think it's cracked more. So I'm going to put the parsley into that one. There was a chip in it and I think it's gone through. But in my mind, it ain't broken until it's broken. No, it's not broken yet. I'm going to pop the garlic in there as well. And we just stir this. So this is what we sprinkle on the top at the end. So it's just called gremolata. It's literally just 3 ingredients. Easy as. All right. Let's check on our water. I'll leave the spoon in it because we're going to use it anyway. Okay, so now it's coming up to the boil again. I'm going to back it off. And then what you need to do is slowly pour the polenta in. So I've measured it out as 2 cups. So back it off to low. And as you pour it in, just stir it. That's it. Beautiful. All right, once it's all in, pop our timer on for 10 minutes. My timer's in the other room. All right, so just stir it for a little bit. Just to get it back up to the boil. And then we can pop our double burner back on. All right, so we're going to pop the double burner back on top. That'll come back up to the boil. And with the polenta, 10 minutes. Cook, stirring for 10 minutes or until the polenta thickens and till the mixture thickens and the polenta is soft. Now, I don't know if that actually means that I have to stand there stirring it for 10 minutes. I don't think I do. I think it can do it on its own. I don't know. It actually doesn't like that being in there, so I am going to have to stir it because it's pretty full. I don't think this needs 10 minutes either, by the way, because it's pretty thick. And it's actually, it's spitting. Yeah. The last time I made this, I don't think I made it as this sort of polenta. Well, that did not take 10 minutes, I promise you, because I reckon that's done. It's definitely thick. I'll just pop it back on for a little bit. Just give it a stir for a little bit longer. Well, it's thick. In my mind, that's thick enough. I can't put the beans back on top because it's spitting at them. So that was actually my bad idea. Of course, if I had a bigger saucepan... No, I reckon I'm going to leave it at that. All right, so turn that off. Your beans are going to have to cook another way. So probably the quickest way is to just put them in the microwave in the container that I had them in earlier. And then we're going to get ready to dish up. Now, if I didn't have those frozen... Ow! I think I tried to break my thumb just then. If I didn't have those frozen beans, I would have got fresh beans from work, which obviously fresh beans take longer to cook, but they taste so much better. So next time when they're all gone. So yeah, I definitely would say this is done because it's creamy and it's thick. So I'm just going to set this aside with the lid on it. That way it'll stay warm. The beans are in the microwave finishing off. And I've got about half an hour. In the meantime, I'm going to go do some other stuff. And then I'm going to get ready to dish up. So I'll see you soon.